It could be the show if we wanted it to be.
This is a show. What'd you do today? I got up. That's a show.
That's a show.
What's it about? Absolutely nothing.
Well, it's got to be about something.
Absolutely nothing.
It's got to be about 26 years of life.
That's right.
That you've been through.
I made it to this day.
We got a birthday boy today. 26 years.
Made it 26 years.
I was there.
You were there.
I saw the whole thing.
You also played golf.
I was going to say, didn't you go play golf?
Yeah, the day you got home from came home from the hospital, your grandpa goes, "Hey, Barnesville's open. Let's go play golf." So I asked your mom, "Is it all right if I go play golf?" No, this was December 14th. Yeah, I go play golf.
Well, did it help that it was your birthday?
And that was my birthday. Yep. So that was my birthday gift.
So my birthday, you get home from the hospital. I'm going to go play golf. I guess I don't really know what is she pretty self-sufficient by then where you can leave for 5-6 hours?
It's a slippery slope in conversation.
Yeah.
Jim, do you want to handle that question?
I just don't know,
I actually think it's more his dad wanted him to play golf. So
that's probably why
he played golf.
Yeah.
That's why I did that. But as far as when your wife comes home with a newborn,
I'm just saying,
are they self-sufficient? Do they need us for anything?
Is this something that I can expect, or is that like I got lucky once kind of thing?
You got lucky once.
Yeah, I would not say that's normal. I wouldn't recommend doing what I did.
She just more or less needed you at night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It helped.
Leave it at that.
It helped that I was an angel of a baby. I never did anything wrong. I slept through the night consistently. I remember I was there.
I took the night shift because I was playing NASCAR.
Oh yeah,
the NASCAR on the Xbox, and I was.
Did you have the steering wheel at that point?
Yeah.
No, that was a PlayStation. That wasn't even the Xbox. That was a PlayStation.
I don't know. I was playing, and you were on my lap, and
nice.
I'd race all night. How'd it go? She'd ask me how it went. Yeah, well, I finished third. The kid was fine.
He was good too. Yeah.
The kid was sleeping while I was playing. He's fine.
Welcome back to another round at Sweet Shots. Lucas Johnson alongside Mark Johnson, and joined here today. I don't know if it's going to make the cut, but I'll say it again anyway. It doesn't get bigger than this. Jim Bigelow is in the booth today, quite literally in the booth. Welcome on, Jim. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. It's going to be a great time.
For those that don't know, Jim Bigelow is a head golf professional here at Sweet Shots and one of the great minds behind our academy. And that's kind of the theme today. We're talking all things golf and academy-related things. And Jim, I just haven't worked with you for the last, 2.5 years?
2.5 years?
3 years now. The knowledge that you've been around the game. How long have you been a PGA member?
I've been a PGA member for 28 years.
28.
It's 28 and a half, going on 29 this year. So that's been great. Started in the golf business at Detroit Lakes Country Club under the direction of Mark Holm in the early 90s. Spent 3 summer seasons with Mark, and then ventured to West Palm Beach, Florida for the winter seasons.
Tough life.
So what happened after the first year? So I'm gonna talk for just.
But you were single, right, at that time?
I was single.
Okay, good.
So after the first year, I get done with the year and go, now what am I going to do? I want to stay in the golf. I'm not going to do it up here because it's too cold. So I packed my car up, no job, no place to stay, and drove myself down to West Palm Beach, Florida. So it took me a day to get down there, and then checked into a motel, and then started job searching, and came across a great job at a course that was just opening up, a Jack Nicklaus and Jack Nicklaus Jr. design called Ibis Golf and Country Club, and started in the bag room where most of us, when we start in the business, that's where we go, right to the bag room.
Yep.
And so that was a great experience, great learning experience. I got to meet a lot of great people down there. We had a lot of celebrities at our golf course. We had Jim Palmer, Gary Carter, Jasper Parnovic used to play there. Bob Charles on the senior tour used to hit balls there all the time and play. Jack Nicklaus used to show up quite a bit.
Wow.
So, and Tom Watson used to always come down the week before he started his season. And that was right before Phoenix, the Phoenix Open. And so I got to watch him hit balls for a week straight. So, yeah. And then I ventured, Dave Kingsrud, who everybody knows Dave Kingsrud, was down in Florida, right where I was at. And then he asked me to come back and run Rose Creek. So I did that for 2 years and then decided that, I need to get my own job. And so for the next 24 years, I was in South Dakota running a couple golf courses there. So that's my story in the golf business. And then here at Sweet Shots with the opportunity that Mark gave me. So it's awesome.
And actually, there's some young people that probably don't know who Dave Kingsrud is. The Kingfish was longtime golf pro at Edgewood.
Yep.
Like long time. His dad was actually the golf professional at Fargo Country Club, Ralph, back in the day. But Dave was like in charge of getting Rose Creek open, right?
Yes,
and so,
absolutely.
And you were in there day one at Rose Creek?
No, I
Not
was
quite?
there. It was 2 years open, I think, before I got there.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And Dave at that time, he ran all 4 of the city
Wow.
golf courses. He had them all. He had them all 4. So
Wow.
pretty impressive. And I think he was there all 4 for. I think he was there for 24 years too. That he ran all 4 of those golf courses.
Well, I don't know.
Well,
Rose Creek didn't open until 95.
Yeah, it did open
Yeah.
until 95.
Yep.
But yeah.
Okay, so you and I, we got in the golf business. We went to first PGA school together
Yep.
in Lincoln, Nebraska. I picked you up in Wahpeton
Yep.
in my wife's car. It was a Chevy Nova, and we drove through the night. It was back before you had GPS, so we didn't know how long it was going to take us to drive to Lincoln, and we left like I don't know 7 p.m. and we got there in the middle of the night.
Yep.
Just
I remember that. Yep.
3 a.m. We're there at 3 a.m. looking for a hotel,
Yep.
or couldn't check into our hotel yet. So we do business school 1 together. And then I think you drove up from Ibis and I met you in Nashville and we did business school 2 together.
Yep.
Business school being the PGA business
I'm
school.
sorry.
Right?
Yep. PGA school back in the day, you'd do all your book work and then you'd show up at these schools and you'd listen to mind-numbing lectures for 3 days.
3 days. Yep.
And then you'd take a exam.
Standardized exam test.
And it was pass-fail.
Yep.
And I'll never forget the first in Lincoln. I walked out of that exam going, I don't know how I did. And Jim's like, you were confident. You nailed that thing. I mean, and he knew PGA in the book. You had to know. I mean, it listed solid polo colors and the percent breakdown. If you ordered, 80 polos, it gave a recommendation how many should be white, how many should be black, how many should be blue. And the night before we're studying, you had all that just rock solid. I'm like, if we're tested on percent polo colors, I'm in trouble.
And the funny thing is, there was not one question on the percent of a polo.
But you knew it.
Yeah, I knew it, but there was not one question on the test. So I was probably a little over-prepared for the first one. I think the second one, I was underprepared.
Well, the second one, I think we fit about 7 guys in our hotel room, if I remember correctly. But yeah, we walked out of that first one, and I didn't know how I did. And I ended up, if I didn't have the highest score in the entire class, I was like second highest. I ended up with the tailor-made scholarship, and I literally guessed on the rules questions. I must have got every one of them right. Just guessing. So
Yep.
anyways, that's back in the day how we got through PGA school.
So you're at 28 years then too.
Yep, same. Right?
Yeah.
March-ish of 95 is when I was a full member.
And I was April of 96.
Oh.
So it must have took me a little longer to
You
do
got distracted in Florida.
So it probably took me a little longer to do the oral interview to finish out my program, probably. So that's why I think you're just a little bit ahead of me there.
Yep. Yeah, and that was Tom Dolby really encouraged me, who's now at Detroit Country Club Full Circle, where Mark Holm was. Tom, I went to work for Tom in '95. He really encouraged me to get that oral interview done. So I did that right before I started working for him. And so Jim and I have a long history in the golf industry together. And we're just thrilled when it worked out, timing wise, where we're opening this in our academy, and you can learn under Jim, and so that's pretty neat. You guys to have you mentor him. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's been great. I don't want to speak for Jim. I don't know. Maybe I'm a pain in his side every morning, but no, I think. And Jim, I don't know what your thoughts. I feel like this is a unique situation where we're at when it comes to the golf industry and the golf world. You having worked at a green grass facility for over 25 years, and now being here at a PGA recognized facility. It's a range. It's not your standard green. People think of golf. They don't think of a top tracer range and getting lessons, getting fit, and all that. But what's your take on how the game of golf is moving? Is this I guess we're all a little biased here, but honestly, what's your take of it? Can you get the same quality, the same level of improvement from something like this?
Absolutely. First of all, I just like to say it's a really good fit between me and Lucas. I mean, Lucas being younger and I being older. So Lucas has taught me a lot on the technology side, which, I'm not the most techie guy. So that's been good. And I've been able to help him out on some programs like our Adult Learn to Play. And then we just work good as a team as far as, lessons go. If he has a question about something, or if I have a question about something, we can just go to each other and hash it out and say, why is this guy doing this? And, we need to get him doing this. And so I think it's been a super, super good fit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree. I think, personally, at a facility like this, or, technology obviously plays a large role, but I wouldn't say that we're necessarily blinded by numbers. I think between you and I and Mark, I think your philosophy is very similar, but technology is there as an aid. It's not necessarily, it doesn't have to be gospel. And using your eyes and video is a big part, but kind of that old school analog and kind of a hybrid is what I would call it. That has been kind of our method here. And I think we've seen some good results, and working that into our programming and using technology as an aid, rather than it says right here that you're 4 degrees inside. We got to get that to 2 degrees outside, and doing that. That's not necessarily the goal, but it helps us kind of picture that.
Absolutely. It helps us get where we need to get with the students. I mean, numbers are always good, but a good eye on somebody is also very important too, as a teacher, as somebody that's trying to get better, and just a good eye on them makes a lot of sense for sure.
Well, what I like about this facility and teaching at this facility, I did a lot of instruction indoors on a simulator before this facility was open. Winter's a great time for somebody to make a significant change.
Oh yeah, yep.
But we'd always say it's a great time because you're not so worried about ball flight. You can make the change. We look at video and we look at the numbers. Well, you can do that here. Plus, you get the reassurance of ball flight.
Yeah.
And I think ultimately that's what sets us apart in the winters when it comes to instruction or getting ready for the year, is that you can see ball flight, entire ball flight. And if you don't, not everybody learns the same, right? Some people they get that reinforcement from ball flight. You can show them a video, you can show them the numbers on a launch monitor, but they like to see what the ball is doing. And that's a difference that we offer here. And you guys do a great job with that.
So, okay, here's my question, and this is going to sound maybe a little naive, and I'm going to pose this question as...
is it about golf?
It is about golf, but it's about pre-technology, I guess. What was the strategy when someone comes to you? Because my golfing instruction life, both learning and teaching, relies so heavily on video and the ability to slow down so people can see what they're doing. Pre-technology, pre-video, were you guys showing them how they were swinging, and then not necessarily saying trust me, or were you so reliant on drills to get I think of like John Dahl work so exaggerated, right? Everything's exaggerated, and we do a little bit of that. But pre-technology, what's that like? Where did that jump occur for you guys? Was there a hard transition? Was it? There's a lot there, but basically
you want to jump into that one, Jim?
Well, like when I first started teaching, there was really nothing out there. I mean, but just a good old eye. And I think with, the iPads, the cameras now, it is much easier to see somebody because you can pick different things out. Mm-hmm. Where back in the day when you were teaching with no technology, you just don't see what you see on video now. And I think that's a major improvement in how teaching has evolved and come a long way. I remember I used to have a small camera, a tripod, mm-hmm. a laptop, and I would go, it was really goofy. And then you would shoot, and then I'd have to go inside because on my range, the sun wouldn't allow me to look on the screen. So I had to take him back in my shop and bring my iPad or my laptop in there and do the video that way. Yeah. So, that was crazy. Now it's just so easy. You just have an iPad, you shoot a picture, of a guy swing, and then you can look at it right there. Yeah. So, that's how I think teaching's evolved, a lot. I actually like the technology in teaching now a lot better than just trying to look at somebody on the range and go, oh, geez, he's over the top. Oh, now what do I do? Now you can see it. You can you can see the guy, whether he's over the top or two in or.
Yeah, and obviously, so to follow up with that, because I guess what would you necessarily target? Obviously, everybody's a little different, but like your example, Jim, of like, okay, he's over the top. Are you focusing on path there? Is it like, let's just get a square club face at the bottom because he doesn't know necessarily that he's over the top or that he's kind of, in some trouble necessarily from there? And are you just trying to like, hey, let's just get this guy back to straight?
Definitely probably more path. Back in the day, you also had a lot of people come up to you and go, how do I start? How do I start a golf swing? What do I do? It's very simple. I would just put their right hand on the club and I would just get them hitting little shots, very, very just easy shots. And then I'd say after you hit about 10 balls like that, then what I would do is say, now we need to get a little more engaged with your right hip. We're just going to get a little more engaged. And that's how I would start the golf swing. Still to this day, I still have people come up like, I don't play golf, but how do I start? Mm-hmm. And getting them started is like really, really important. How do we get them started? Yeah. And so, that's kind of how I went about it.
I think back before, and I was on the technology, Steve Widener at Fargo Country Club was using video before people. He had the big VHS, cameras where they were recording on the big tapes. Yeah. And then you'd find a way to play that on TV. He was ahead of the curve on that whole technology deal. I can't imagine what he would be thinking. He was a longtime golf professional at Fargo Country Club that was killed tragically helping another motorist. That was in 95, matter of fact. So, but before I used any of that camera stuff, Jim, didn't we rely on just ball flight laws?
Yeah.
We knew path and we knew club face.
Yeah.
And it's still, those laws are still there. We know a little bit now more because of technology.
Of the why.
Why with the face and the path relationship. But if, you had a guy coming over the top and he's hitting these big slices, you went after one of two things. You went after his path or you went after his club face. And usually it had to be a combination of changing both. But if you get a person that maybe their face wasn't that open, but they were just coming over the top and you change their path, and now all of a sudden they see for the first time in their life that ball draw instead of slice, you just had to really rely on knowing what causes the ball to do what it does.
Yep.
And then get that person to change and help them feel it. And we didn't have that. We couldn't go back to video early on, but it was just leaning on, I read the Ben Hogan 5 Fundamentals of Golf. that book. It was really, really good. I think I recommended anybody out there, whether you're a golf instructor, or you just want to learn. It's so sound. That stuff that's in that book, and it's a paperback book. But we leaned on the real fundamentals. Yeah, and it's easy to get caught up in numbers, but ultimately, there's only so many reasons why a ball is going to curve and do what it does. Yep,
and that's so. As I look at it, because I've been raised in kind of that era of technology, and I've done probably everything from the most simplistic style, where we'd go on the range, Mark, and you'd probably do that, right? I don't remember a whole lot of times where it was necessarily video oriented, but then on the flip side of that, I've been hooked up to every computer in the building, and I've seen every angle of all of that. For somebody that's looking to get into golf or even improve, I guess, what line do you draw as far as like technology versus, Jim, like you were saying, getting somebody starting simple with the right hand on there? Where's that line where all of a sudden you're like, okay, let's look more at the numbers? Where would you draw that line for somebody? Or is there a line?
When they're starting or ability?
Yeah, just where do you start to go?
What do you think, Jim?
Well, I actually think, you can tell, I can tell right away whether when a golfer comes into me, I can tell right away that he's played a little bit, has a little bit of athletic movement. I think that's really important too, because you will get golfers also that want to start that have nothing, no athletic ability. And that's where your job is, to really train them from ground zero. But yeah, I think there's a fine line.
I think you have to find out how that student learns, right?
Yeah.
Some could just watch you and imitate you. Maybe they have that ability of that athleticism. Oh, that's what you mean by transferring your weight. Okay, I get it now. They watch you do it. Some people, you put them on video and you go, see, you're not transferring your weight. And they are surprised. They go, oh, I had no idea I was doing that. Okay, I'll do it. I just saw myself not do it, or not reinforce them. Now I see that I'm doing it properly. So some people, you just tell them and they can do it. Yeah. So it's being able to recognize that person, right?
It's
and just,
fine.
some people, they don't want to see their golf swing.
Right.
They don't. Maybe they don't need to, as where they're at in their game.
Right. And it's really not all about one method. That's right. Everybody's got a different body size, flexibility comes into play. So you can't teach. I'm not a guy that teaches just one simple method. I'd like to have a little variety, especially with, flexibility is key. Are you overweight? Can you move? There's just a lot of different
surgeries, back surgeries. All of that.
I think there's just some different concepts and ways to teach the golf swing with different body types too.
Yeah. So to get, maybe slightly controversial, because it's really, really big right now, is YouTube golf. And whether it's the entertainment side of things, but there's also a huge section out there on instruction. You can search nowadays, kids, people getting into it, can just search fix a slice, and it's going to pop up with hundreds of videos of try this one thing. You guys coming, almost 30 years in the industry now, what are your takes? What are your thoughts on YouTube golf? Does it help? Is it some people more than others? Is it, where do you guys fall on the YouTube golf train?
So my deal on YouTube golf is actually, good. I always say in golf, changes are very temporary. They don't last long, because golfers always go back to what they know. So, I used to have guys come in my shop and I read this on Sports Illustrated, or read this in Golf Digest, and
same thing, right? YouTube or Golf Digest.
YouTube, same thing. And they go, yeah, I tried it. It was great. I went to the range and I just striped it. And then the next day they'll come in and they'll go, Jesus, I can't hit the ball in the air, So, that's what I'm saying. There's so much information out there. If you can take just like what I say, bits and pieces of it that fits your golf swing, I think it could be beneficial,
Well, they have to know what your problem is. Sometimes they're, right, there's cause and effect. Just because your ball slices, there's a few different maybe reasons, maybe because, and if you pick the wrong fix, you might be adding to your
Start to
problem.
exaggerate.
So that's where I think YouTube golf or reading an article or just doing it yourself, sometimes it might not be the right fix for what your true problem is at the root cause of your problem. That's where having an instructor have an eye on it and really analyze as to what's going on. It's like having you got an open deal to a pharmacy, but what if you don't diagnose yourself with the illness that's the proper illness and you go get the wrong medication?
Sure.
You might make yourself more sick.
Yep.
And that's what happens to people that read an article and are applying it to maybe a problem that they don't have. They think they have that problem, but it might be a layer or two earlier than that.
Yeah.
But anyway.
And that's kind of what I've seen, where it's whether it's somebody coming in or just hearing stories, but if a golf tip goes viral, quote unquote viral, on TikTok or whatever, people might just take that and go, I need that. If it works for 5.8 million people, I need that. When in reality, that's not your issue. And doing that, they might claim it fix all, this is a fix all. And I just don't know that that's necessarily out there. I don't know that there's a one size fits all drill that makes it. So I guess that's the takeaway, right? You got to properly know your swing. And I think the best way to know your swing would be getting in front of a trained eye or an instructor and somebody that knows what to look for. And Jim and I, we do it. I mean, we can send videos to people so they can have it. They leave there and they know what they're doing. And that's kind of been our goal is getting that. And so I'm on board with that. Like, YouTube golf could be helpful, but you got to know what you're looking for. Because you can also go down a rabbit hole and it's a scary place when you're 20 videos in and you still don't know what's going on.
And you're still hitting the same shot.
And you're still hitting the same shot. Yeah.
Okay, can I ask a question to you guys?
Yeah, go.
The listeners out there, I mean, what you've done in that academy in a short period of time is really impressive. And there's a few different topics, but the one thing I wanted to talk about is your success with on the academy side. Yes, we have learned to play for beginners and adults. We do our PGA Hope program for veterans, but you've had some success with this, with the young person that's looking to play, whether it's middle school competitive, high school competitive, and now college. The wall is filling up down there. It's getting more and more. And what you've done a really nice job of is, if you're working with a young person that's playing college golf, you have highlighted them with a picture and what team they're on. It's pretty neat. Can you talk about that level of what you're doing in that program for the youth and that, what, I don't know if you're calling it the Elite Academy, but can you give folks kind of what's your roadmap? What are you offering there and what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, the overall goal, I mean, put simply, is, and kind of talking and working with Chris Geist at the Dakota Junior Golf Association, to make things available for these kids and to give them access. I think about when I started playing, everything that was, we'll kind of call it second, third tier, as far as like, okay, how do you get exposure? If you want to play competitively, where do you have to go? It was the Twin Cities and sometimes further, 4 hours away. And there's a ton of talent in the area. And so being able to give them the opportunity to develop and perform in the area rather than having to go, and give that credibility to the area, I think serves a greater purpose down the line. And that's where, as I sat around and thinking about, it's such a great space down there and a great opportunity with the technology, the year-round capabilities, to have this offering for these kids. So we are going to call it the Elite Academy, and the goal is to have kind of a funnel and kind of a roadmap for these kids that want to play competitively, whether, the two that are highlighted are going to be our competitive series and our elite series. And the competitive series is really just for kids that they're just looking to get into the game of golf and start competing. So they go from playing around with their buddies to now, hey, it might be fun to play a tournament. How do you go about that? And there's a level of help that we can give to the parents through the Dakota Junior Golf Association, through the FM Junior, just access. How do you guys sign up for that? So it's more than just a mechanical swing fix. There's a mental aspect to it. There's here's how we sign up for tournaments. And on the elite side, there's, again, the mental side of it. There's, how do I go about contacting coaches? Do I need, a highlight tape like they do for football and all that stuff? So it's kind of giving that roadmap and that opportunity. And the goal was basically to create something that that I didn't necessarily have access to, and now to give these kids access. And Jim and I have both worked with some incredibly talented individuals in the area, and that's, I think, what's so special is there's a lot of talent in the Fargo-Moorhead and surrounding areas that, given the opportunity, we can, I feel, and I think we feel that we can have an opportunity to create something really special and really promote the game of golf and the successful, kind of transition and game that these kids are capable of. So the goal with that is we're going to build that. We're going to make a route to the collegiate level, maybe even beyond. But it's going to start with 4 to 7 year olds, and it's going to go all the way through high school varsity, 18-year-olds. Mm-hmm. And then if they're working with us afterwards in college and continue to go on. So
what are some success stories you've got? You got some kids playing college golf out there?
Jim had.
Yeah, I have 2 right now. I have Abby Lawler, who plays at University of Sioux Falls. She played her first year there this year. And then Jack Justison, who is at Mankato State.
He hits it a long ways. Did you teach him how to hit?
Long ways. No,
Did you teach him how to hit that?
No. Jack's a guy, you just pick out some really small things. His swing is it's very solid, from start to finish. So yeah, it's been impressive to see, where we take somebody. And I've got a few connections on the college side for coaches. So that's kind of neat too. Like if I see a player that's very interested in going to college, I'll just contact that coach. And I said, can you watch her? Can you watch him? And, and that's really important too, to have the coach's eyes on these players too. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's really neat what we do down there. I think me and Lucas both do a great job down there, and we're just, we just keep promoting. We have a lot of kids run through that academy. So, and not everybody wants to play college golf either, right. But you do have, there's quite a bit of interest in moving up to the next level, which is cool.
And just playing competitively, I think, you get a lot of kids that are just trying to make varsity and what that means to them, and to be able to, or to break 80, and like you said, Jim, not everybody's looking to go play collegiately. I get that, but to take some pride and hey, let's break 80. Let's make varsity. Let's get on JV. Maybe it's as an 8th grader. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to highlight, it's not just me and Jim down there, Dave Booth down there, who we've had him on the show before, and what he does with not only his putter fittings, but just club repair and being able to kind of fine tune. I think we've had just about everyone from North Dakota State boys team has come through here, whether it's for putting or club repair, and that speaks to his level of expertise and the level of care that he takes in that area, and his putter fitting method that he's developed. Yep. I think is one of one, and you're not going to find it anywhere else. And there's a reason that people come back, and there's a reason that people do that. And so to be able to work that in as well, I mean, he is a huge jewel in our crown down there in the academy.
Absolutely.
Well said.
And he is like super thorough in what he does with his fittings. And I think that's what people like too. I mean, a putter fitting, it may take an hour and a half.
Right.
But he will.
Who knew?
Yeah.
Who knew? Something as simple as putting.
Yeah. Would take an hour and a half to fit, but I mean, he's very thorough, very knowledgeable, and it's just great to have him down there doing those fittings. He's awesome.
Yeah. There's a ton of opportunity down there, and that's kind of the goal again with the Elite Academy is kind of the overarching, and we've got the competition and Elite series, like we said, but we're going to start that in January, and so it's kind of right around the corner. We want to get that up and going. They're going to be small group sessions. And it's going to be everything from how do you handle the game from a mental side to, rules. Being able to coach high school golf for my first year last year was very eye-opening in terms of, we can use the rules to our advantage. It's not just sitting here and penalizing everybody for everything. You can use those to your advantage, and knowing the rules is step one. So working some of that in, and then between Jim's contacts, between my contacts, between your contacts, we've got some things in the works where we're trying to create visibility and create outreach for these kids if they are looking to move on.
Yep. You know, I tell you what, having that, it's golf for parents and kids trying to navigate if they do want to go and play beyond high school. There's no roadmap like football or hockey or a lot of these other sports. It's a real gray, foggy process. And if we could add some clarity to that through, and even if folks want to just call us, right? Even if their child wasn't taking lessons directly from us, but to add some clarity there, we're actually working on a clinic where we're going to bring coaches in, invite parents, invite student kids in, and to help them understand what it takes to play at a D3 level, what it takes to play D2, D1. Look for that. What we're thinking, maybe late winter, early spring.
Yeah,
February, March.
You know, we've got our first 8-week session starting in January, so it's probably going to be towards the end of that, maybe early March, and working that probably before the high school season. And
so look for that. We'll get the word out about that.
Yep,
it'd be fun to put that out there.
Yeah, it's a great. There's a lot of great things coming down the pipe. I personally am really excited about this Elite Academy. Like I said, this is kind of a baby of mine where I'm trying to. This is, I think, what I wish I would have had coming up, right? Just some access, some, I guess I was playing hockey, but, you know, taking a full 6 months off, you know, I think working with you, Mark, every year in the spring, you called it hockey hands. And I just came out with a wicked snap hook every time. And it usually took me 3-4 weeks to get back to feeling comfortable. And then by that time, you're halfway through the high school season.
Yeah.
And it might be too late, you know? So, you know, in order to shoot your best scores, even if it's just being here, like I said, you know, with the 8-week deal, it's twice a week for an hour and a half. That's all you're going to need. And we're going to cover everything. So really excited about it. It's going to be a great opportunity.
How do people sign up for that?
Well, everything's online at the moment, and we're going to start really pushing it here in the next couple weeks. So visibility should be pretty high. But everything's right on the website, sign-ups, information. So keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on the social media channels. We're going to be doing some great stuff there. And really just trying to again, exposure and opportunity for these kids.
How about you're doing a speed training camp right now?
Speed training? So that basically kicked off our Elite Academy is kind of how it went. It was something simple that we could run that again is beneficial to junior golfers. We opened it to everybody, but we had junior golfers sign up, and it's in partnership with Ripstick, so a speed training aid. And essentially, it's a 4-week workout program. Simply put, they come in here for an hour. We're going to do some overspeed training. We're going to work on some drivers and getting that swing speed up because it's no secret. I mean, distance equates to lower scores. I mean, when you're hitting a wedge instead of an 8-iron, you know, whether you're in the rough or the fairway, that's a big difference. We've talked about it on here before with, you know, like a Bryson-esque or a Rory-esque round of golf versus an average person's round of golf. You know, when you got a wedge, makes things a little easier. So we got a great group of kids. You know, this stuff is very small group because of just kind of the instructor to student ratio, but it allows us to get a lot out of that hour, and we're working hard, and it's really, really cool to see these kids kind of take that to heart and really, you know, they're trying to get better on their game, and that's the main goal. So
that's pretty cool.
And that's something too. We'll offer that more times in the future because I think everybody can benefit from it. We have the ability to order ripsticks through us. So it's a, you know, if somebody's out there searching for, you know, how do I gain some swing speed? That's a great way to do it. They've got an app and everything. You can work your way through all their levels and get some swing speed. So, yeah.
Randomly jump into another subject. Jim, you were involved last year, PGA Hope, the program with the veterans. That's coming up again. We're going to do that in February. Can you talk what that experience was like?
Yeah, that's pretty cool to get these veterans in here for 6 weeks of instruction and just build, you know, a great relationship with them. You know, it's really a great program that the PGA Hope does that and able to offer that program here at Sweet Shots. And, you know, I can't say enough about it. It's just pretty fulfilling when you are making veterans better. I mean, it's just a great feeling, and it's a great program.
And that's free of charge for people.
Absolutely.
For veterans, right?
Yep.
It's a free program.
Yep, it's a free program, free of charge. We have 15 veterans per section or session, and we have me, you, and Lucas doing the program. So it's awesome. It's just awesome. I just can't say enough about it.
Yeah, if people are a veteran or active duty or know somebody, maybe it's your dad, uncle, grandpa, whatever it might be. Let them know about this program. I think we can start. I know they open that registration up. I think it's right after the first of the year, and we'll start sometime in February. But they'll fill up. We only get 15 per. We are only we keep the ratio 1 instructor per 5 veterans.
Yep.
And it'll fill up. So look for that information out there too.
Yeah. Yeah. Super great program.
Jim,
for the
they told me they thought you would have made a great drill sergeant.
I've heard that. I have heard that.
That is, I think anybody listening that's taking a lesson with Jim, I think they're shaking their head right now. They know exactly what we're talking about. But it's good. It comes from a place of love. We're just trying to get you better. You know,
That's right. Yep. Yep. I go about it sometimes just a little different than some of the other guys, but hey, everybody's got their own style.
Yep.
That's awesome. That's good. What else you got down there for programming before we talk a little PGA Tour?
Let's see. We got the Elite Academy start. I mean, we're running with leagues. We're this year. It's obviously a little different than lessons, but leagues we've had great response. We got a ladies league that sold out completely, whole floor. It was awesome. Our open league has been phenomenal. One of our larger winter ones, and then new this year, we're going to start in January. We're starting an indoor league, so we'll be indoors in the simulators. We're changing it up. Also, it's going to be a 4-person scramble. So grab your buddies. You know, it's going to be a really good time. And I think the best part about it is it's a floating league, so you don't have to commit to one time.
Yeah.
You know, whatever works with your schedule. You know, Sunday through Thursday, there's going to be no charge to you. Friday, Saturday, you'll have to pay half price for the bay. But I mean, pick your day, pick your time, come on out. You know, have a chance at some money or some prizes there, and have a good time. It's a great way to spend it. You know, you break the cost down. I think it was $500 a team for 6 weeks, so it's like $20 a person a time. So you're going to come out and play golf for $20, essentially, is what it is, and you could win all that back. Who knows?
And have fun.
So, and you're going to have fun doing it.
How about club fitting? What are you guys doing down there for club fitting? Now is it? You know, we start getting. Season's not that far off. You get to Christmas, turn of the new season, turn of the new year. It's probably a good time to be. If you're thinking about equipment, it's a good time to do it.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna get deals on the old stuff, and you're gonna get new stuff coming out. So I just saw Ping and TaylorMade just hit the and Callaway just hit the USGA conforming list. So we're gonna hear a lot more information on newer equipment in the next couple weeks.
Yep, and then I think most of the new stuff will be out by the middle of January. We should have that stuff in the academy, so we're ready to start rolling.
We're ready to go.
We're ready to go again.
It's gonna be a good time for some club fittings. I think I say it every year, but it's like I don't know how they keep getting better, but they do. You know, between the three of us, I think we've hit everything that we've offered. We've hit the new stuff, and it's just faster, more ball speed. That's the mantra for this year. More ball speed. So,
and we're going to the PGA show.
We're going to go down there.
Yep.
Yeah.
You want to go to the PGA show? When's the last time you've been to the PGA show?
Long time. Probably 37 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Were they still out of their trunks in the parking lot, or how?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great show, though.
Yep.
It is a great show.
It'll be a good time.
And we got to do our show from there this year.
Yeah. We got to put in for the
we'll do that.
press badges or whatever.
Yep. We'll do that. So
I like it.
Okay, you want to talk a little Hero Challenge Tigers event?
I can try. I mean, I only saw some highlights. I was just slammed this weekend. I was more football orientated this weekend.
Did you watch it?
I watched a little bit of it, but not much either.
See, in the PGA Tour, they're smart, right? They did their playoffs. They got done, get out of the way of football season.
Yeah.
So then, you know, because people were in football mode right
now. Oh, yeah.
Just not golf
Hand
mode.
Yep.
Although I'm a golf junkie, so I tuned it in, watched a little bit of the final round, was following a little bit, but you know, it's only a field of 20 players, so it's a small deal. But really, in my mind, once we get into January and you start seeing whatever they call that event now in Hawaii, where it's the tournament champions, That to me, okay, now we're kicking
Now
out
we're
the
ready.
season.
Yep.
People
Yeah,
are ready.
yeah.
So, but this is kind of a made-for-TV Tigers event. Tiger didn't play, but Scotty Scheffler, the dude, he is.
What do you end up winning by?
Ooh, two maybe.
Stumped him. Yeah, I mean, that's from what I saw. He's the number one player in the world. Comes into a brand new tournament. Number one player in the world, undisputed. He had one of the greatest seasons since Tiger Woods' 2000 year, and that's up for debate. But
Still 2024. He's still winning in this calendar year.
correct.
Anyways,
And
9 wins.
9 wins he's got. But he shows up to the tournament. He's got a new putter. He's holding a putter different.
He's pencil grip.
He's the number
did
one
both.
player in the world.
He did
and he
both.
switched it up.
yep.
Yep. That's amazing.
And he putted well.
Yeah, he
looked
put it
good.
well.
Yeah,
Well,
he
I think-
opened the tournament with like six
6,
birdies in a
yeah.
row or something like
Yeah.
that. It's like, what is this guy doing?
So
That's crazy.
I heard a stat though to put things in perspective. You know, he's world number one. Just went past Nick Price in the number of weeks.
Consecutive weeks.
weeks.
I think I saw
Isn't
this.
it 82 weeks now?
I don't know.
I think it's
It's
80.
some crazy like
I think
yeah.
it's 82 weeks he's been.
Do you know how long it would take him to get to match what Tiger was in world number one? I have the date.
I don't have the exact years, but I have the example they gave of how long it would be. His kid would be going into kindergarten.
Yeah, it'd be May of 2028. He would
Yeah, his
need to
kid is
hold
just
number
born.
one position. I also heard he could retire now, and at the end of the 2025 season, he'd be ranked 4th in the world if he just stopped
Why, did he
playing right
just
now.
stop
Yeah.
playing?
Yeah, they have
That's
done the
pretty
math.
cool.
It's like, yeah, he'd still be 4th.
Yeah.
It's crazy you watch him play. I mean, it's just in some weeks you watch him play and it's like this guy's number one in the world. Not because he's not scoring, but you just watch his swing and you're like, this is the best golfer on the planet.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I
You
think
know
that's
what?
what makes it so cool.
He may get to Tiger's record.
You think so?
He might. He might. Yep. If he
Consecutive-
stays healthy, yes. I think he's going to.
Obviously, the kid didn't slow him down because
Yeah.
he kept winning after the kid was born.
Right.
So
Yeah.
He's just a dominant player. Dominant player.
he is. I think he's shown it. He's got what it takes for the longevity, but he's also like. Similarly, when he plays, if he's not winning, he's going to be in the top 10, which is almost just as important
Yeah.
when it comes to world rankings. And then you got guys that are flashes in the pan, not necessarily flashes in the pan. You know, I go to like Rory McIlroy, who can win, but he's not. He's either going to win top 5 or he's going to miss the cut. I mean, it's like all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Scheffler's just shown that he can. He's just on cruise control, and then when he wants to, he's just going to win.
Yeah, he's not a he doesn't screw around with his swing very much either. You know
How
what?
could you though with
No,
that,
he
that
doesn't.
swing? Yeah,
With that swing, and I think that's what's where Tiger
That's a good
was
point.
always changing his swing, and
Yeah.
everybody's always changing the swing. He's not changing. He's
No,
just going to go with what he knows, and that's why I think he may get to Tiger's.
that's a really good
Record.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just don't think he's going to change. You know, he's not going to all of a sudden plant that back foot because why would he need to?
No.
You know?
Right. Good
Yeah.
point. He's unique and he's
Yeah.
owned it.
Right.
And yeah, he the other guy that was leading going into the final round, our guy Justin Thomas, JT.
Do you think? Are you going to make the call right here that he's going to be your 2025 player to watch
Well, and I said that
after your jinx of a year?
I saw his interview and he's working hard. If his wedge game would have been on, he would have won that tournament. He's driving it.
He kind of had a
He's-
couple flubbies.
Yeah, he's driving the ball 20 yards further than he was last year. Like
What?
he was so far by Scotty.
That's what I'm saying.
I've
Get a ripstick in your
I've
hand.
watched his workout routine. It's
Is it
insane.
crazy?
Yes.
It's insane, Justin.
Justin
Yes.
Thomas.
It's insane.
And it's not like they're throwing around a lot of weight.
No.
It's more like
No.
medicine ball
Oh,
and
absolutely.
a lot
Yeah,
of core.
bands, a lot of
Yeah.
bands and
Bands, yeah.
stuff. And he is like super fit this year. I think he's out to prove something this year.
I think
Ah,
so too.
Jim thinks so, too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think he's
I
out,
don't-
but I'm not going to say he's going to have a great year. I just think this year he's out to prove something.
Yep. I like that.
I would agree.
To backpedal a little bit, just because we were talking about instruction, somebody comes to you with Scotty Scheffler's swing. Not necessarily like he's going to be great, but he's got athletic talent. He square club face, but he's got happy feet like crazy. I mean, as instructors for nearly 30 years, what are you doing? Say he's struggling with the hook, we'll call it. He moves the ball too far, and he's got happy feet. Are you saying, hey, plant your feet and then let's fix the face?
Go ahead, Jim.
I'm saying plant the feet.
Are you?
know.
You're gonna.
I would too.
Yep,
I'm
yep,
embarrassed
saying-
to say. For
yeah.
years, I would probably say, well, we got to fix this.
Yeah.
And he's proving that that's not the problem.
Right. Yep.
I mean, it's textbook. The face being square does not care what the rest of the swing looks like.
No.
If you can get a square club face at impact, it
Yep.
does not matter what it looks like. Arnold
Yep.
Palmer, swing your swing kind of thing, right?
Yep.
But yeah, I just think it's funny growing up around golf instruction, growing up around that. I mean, it was like, and not saying you forced me into a mold, Mark, as a swing instructor, but it was very much kind of this textbook. We want the club here. We got to get up to the top here. Good rotation, blah, 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 blah. Never in my wildest dreams would I ever think about, if we've got kind of this loose lower body that is like, yeah, keep doing that, you know?
Well, not everybody, but people are using the ground differently than we grew up using the ground in the golf
that's a
swing.
good point.
The ground is being used as leverage. And
To generate
they're
speed.
creating a tremendous amount of leverage using the ground and pushing off the ground. We never did that.
No.
We never.
Justin Thomas is very similar. You watch Justin
Yeah.
Thomas and his swing, and he's like on his tippy
on his
toes.
tippy
when he's
toes.
swinging.
Can't just say
Bryson too.
Yeah,
Same way.
yeah.
I mean, he leverages the ground like no other person.
Yep.
You know?
So, I'm embarrassed to say that I'd go after their feet to fix that.
So would I.
But this is good though. It's changing the way that we're coaching and teaching. And,
Yeah.
and there's not one cookie cutter swing. There's ball flight laws. There are certain things you have to do, but there's other things they're proving you don't have to do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, maybe get creative.
Would you be up for that challenge? Somebody comes into you with happy feet and they say, "Coach, I can't keep my feet still." Are you up for that challenge and getting them to get a square club face?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm up for the challenge.
I think so.
And that's what I think. Like Scotty's coach, for him to just be like, you know what, leave it. Let's get a square club face. I mean,
Yeah.
how forward thinking that was, because
Yeah,
you think how
it's pretty
long
cool.
Scotty's been swinging like that.
Well, you think of Spieth's bent arm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His coach had to just make a decision. It probably worked on it when he was a kid for a while, and it didn't really work out. Just leave it. Let's go.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Square club face.
you just don't see that as much as you see Scotty Scheffler doing
Yeah.
Fred Astaire. Bad, poorly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, it was fun to see golf on TV. Tom Kim was back on his game.
Yeah.
Yeah. He played
I
well.
like Tom.
Yep. So it's going to be fun. I look forward to the season. So this is kind of a teaser for the PGA Tour season. But,
Okay. How about this? This will be our last deal here, but I don't know how much you guys know about the TGL League. Are you guys familiar with
yeah, I
this?
saw that a little bit.
You know about
You
this,
familiar,
Jim?
Jim?
No.
So this is their indoor golf league. And Tiger Woods started this. Rory McIlroy started this, right? Yeah, it was Rory. And Justin Thomas. So there's like 6 teams, and it's is it like a best ball or it's match play, and it's indoor. So they hit into it, and it's using full swing technology, which we have in our basement, full swing and foresight technology kind of combined. And they hit into a screen that's like 46 times the size of your average indoor simulator screen. Like, it's huge, the screen is.
Wow.
And it's match play scenario. Once they get inside 100 yards, they flip around, and there's a live grass, live turf hitting area that they hit their wedges into with bunkers and a contoured green that actually moves. And it's interesting to me because it's like, it'll be aired in like prime time. It's going to be a big, like, they're going to try and make this thing a big deal. And I just don't know with the traditional golfers if it's gonna hit any notes with traditional golf fans, or if you guys will be tuning in.
Will you tune into that?
I'd tune into it. Absolutely. It's golf.
I definitely
See what
want
it's all about?
I definitely want to
see what
see
it's
it.
all about. Yeah.
And it looks like they've had to create holes. So basically, virtually, they're playing virtual golf holes, but they made brand new holes. There's a couple like fantasy holes that they have to hit it onto like an island on a rock. Like they're playing in a canyon. You don't have them hanging here. Oh yeah, over there.
Yeah, over there. Yep.
The fantasy
Bud
golf
Chapman.
holes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're like creating these holes. So it's going to be, I think it'll be pretty entertaining, but if this takes off.
I think it will. I think with the younger demographic that are coming to golf, since COVID and things like that, you have gamification in golf together. I mean, for the first time, National Golf Foundation last year announced there's more people playing sim golf in golf entertainment facilities like us than there are traditional golfers.
Yeah.
Yep.
That trend's going to continue.
Yeah.
It really is. So I'll tune in. I'll watch it. Yeah.
I'm pretty excited. I think I hope the entertainment value, because we've seen the matches, where they 2-on-2 kind of thing, and I think those have been underwhelming at best. But because they felt like forced and manufactured, where like here, I'm hoping they just let them play, and if they trash talk, they trash talk. Like that's fine, but there's a technology aspect of it, and I wonder if they'll have glitches like everybody else.
Hey, we talked to the engineer from Full Swing that was
Daniel,
working on this.
Yeah. Really good dude. He was excited about it.
Yeah.
He was excited. He was like, he name dropped Tiger Woods like 5 minutes into our conversation.
At the PGA show, and that's when you go to that deal, Jim. It's different than 37 years ago. I mean, we're visiting with the engineers that developed the software for Full Swing, for Top Tracer. It's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that'll be cool. I'm excited for that. That's our little filler between season. I think that starts like January 5th or 3rd or something like that. 7th maybe.
Can you bet on it?
I'm sure you could. There you go. Yeah. Now we're taking the Boston Commons golf team or the Jupiter. They got team names,
They
got
do. Okay.
team
So
captains and all that.
what station is that going to be on?
Probably. Oh gosh, what was it? I want to say NBC.
We'll have to look it up.
Yeah. Look it up.
Put that out there.
I think that would be cool.
ESPN. Actually, it's on ESPN.
Oh, it is.
Yep.
Oh,
ESPN.
okay.
At least ESPN 2.
That
but
adds
maybe more.
validity right there.
Yep. Yeah. So that'll be good. I'm looking forward to that. So, all right. Big thanks to Jim Bigelow. Doesn't get bigger than Bigelow.
Thanks,
here
Biggs.
on
Thank you.
the Sweet
This was
Shots
a lot of fun.
podcast. Good.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad. We're all right. We're
Yeah,
all
you're
right,
good.
guys.
If listeners want to get a lesson, talk to you guys, how do they go about getting a hold of Jim Bigelow or Lucas? How do they get a hold of you guys?
Well, they can just reach me at jim.bigelow@sweetshots.com or reach me on my phone at 605-350-6744.
Right on the website.
Just like that.
And it's right on the website, too.
Pretty easy.
You just put your phone number out for the world to know your phone number.
The whole
That's all
world.
right.
The whole world.
Yeah. Hey, the calls are going to come fast and furious.
Love
I can
it.
hardly
Love
wait.
it. Love it.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. That's going to do it for another round at Sweet Shots. We'll catch you next time.